during Beijing, one of the great cultural experiences in the world. The Forbidden City sits precisely in the centre of Beijing and is the largest collection of ancient buildings in China, with more than 9,000 chambers to explore, and a great place to meet fans. Next, time to cool down at the dreamlike Imperial Summer Palace, formerly known as the Garden of Gardens. Picturesque lakes and woods provide a place for reflection and to make new friends.
你好.
The Great Wall of China extends thousands of kilometres, and the athletes stepped where millions have over many millennia. As always, they look for the fastest way down to end a memorable day. The Beijing International Triathlon has sparked passion for the sport with the people of China, and in the last 3 years, local participation has dramatically increased. This year, over 500 people, many of them new triathletes, eagerly competed in this achievable yet still challenging course. A 750-metre swim was followed by a fast and flat 20-kilometre cycle ride, and finished with a 5-kilometre run through the beautiful Garden Expo Park. First across the line was Peter Zitzar of Moscow, receiving the unique experience of being congratulated by an Olympic champion. And all smiles by 15-year-old Cynthia Lee, victorious in only her second trial. A great day for all the competitors and their supporters.
Mounting their bikes at transition, athletes will then start a 40-kilometer ride looping through the scenic Fengtai district of Beijing. After starting on the wide boulevard for the first 10 kilometers, athletes then enter the paved mountain road for their first climb on the course. Towards the halfway mark, cyclists will begin a challenging climb to the base of Tianling Mountain, passing ancient temples on the mountainside. Following a U-turn and initial descent on this technical course, the road then narrows on the long downhill and includes a series of challenging tight turns. Cyclists will then ride back along the wide boulevards of Fengtai into quaint villages before returning to the Garden Expo Park and second transition area.
It's an immediate climb from the transition, then 40 kilometres of effort and pain ahead of these athletes. This is Brownlee, the Olympic champion. He has great technique on the bike.
He has really good style, but here comes Cameron Dye taking that lead. As he said pre-race, he wants to go out in front and see if he can hang on.
Cameron Dye, considered one of the strongest time trialists in the sport of triathlon. Joe Malloy, winner of the Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon, is looking to keep pace with these incredible riders. Brownlee just biding his time, and Dye is trying to get away. He is out of the saddle and sprinting. That was Joe Malloy, Vicente Hernandez, Josh Amberger battling it out, and that is a defending champion, Eric Lagerström.
And here's the women. It looks like Ashley Gentle has already caught Lauren Gosh. She is pushing hard in the wet conditions. It doesn't look like Lauren is going to try and hang on.
That was a definitive pass. Cameron Dye, really smooth.
Cameron looks really tight and really comfortable in his time trial position. He just looks like he's made for this bicycle.
Coming into the corners, still some water on the roads, being very careful, taking the corner wide.
Here's our women's leader, Holly Lauren. She's coming into that corner. The roads are slick after the rain last night. Let's see how she takes this corner. Nice and gentle, takes it really wide, and she's going to power off the other side. She's not letting up at all.
Brownlee sticking with his race strategy, keeping the leader in his sights. Cameron Dye, winner of the St Anthony's Triathlon this year, looking very strong.
He looks really comfortable on the bike, but he also knows that Alistair is right on his shoulder.
Holly Lawrence leading this race, a position she is very familiar and very comfortable with. This is exactly what she did at the recent 70.3 World Championships. She led on the bike and she maintained that lead throughout the entire run. Took that corner really well, now sprinting out of the saddle, maintaining her speed on this bike course. Joe Malloy also speeding along, looking very fast.
The course laid out's very challenging. It's got hills, it's got corners, it's got flats. I guess you could say it's got a little bit of everything. And on top of the course, it's got some of the best cyclists in the sport.
Joe Malloy, 23rd at the recent Olympic Games, but it was the escape from Alcatraz win which gave him his spot here at the Beijing International Triathlon. A really competitive athlete, as is Josh Amberger, head down, and he is in unfamiliar territory. Ordinarily, he's off the front after the swim.
Josh was first out of the water, but he lost a little bit of time coming into the transition area.
Magali Tesser also needs to make up time. She's pushing hard.
Here she comes into the corner. And she's down, clutching her face. She went down hard, Mark.
That's gotta hurt. Hopefully she'll be okay though. Vicente Hernandez from Spain, recently 27th at the Olympic Games.
Looks like Magali is getting attended to here. We'll have to see how things play out for her. Hopefully she's going to come out okay on this.
But that is definitely the end of her race today. She won't be continuing after that hard crash. Eric Lagerstrom now is flying, and he is hunting down Josh Amberger and about to move into third spot.
Eric was really hungry coming into this race as defending champion, and he looks like he's trying to take on Josh as well as look at those front riders.
On board with Josh Amberger and coming into a corner. Oh, that was close, throwing caution to the wind. Meanwhile, up the road, Brownlee is still in second position. He has his eyes fixed on the man in front of him, Cameron Dye.
I think he's just sitting behind Cameron, letting Cameron do all the work. He looks pretty comfortable to me, Mark.
Well, Cameron Dye will be doing everything he can to break this great athlete, but he doesn't seem to be able to get away. Holly Lawrence is still way out in front. She is dominating this bike course.
Holly looks like she's really in control here, taking a moment to drink, putting her hands back on the aero bars. She's powerful, her form looks really smooth, and she's not looking back.
We're still on the fast and flat section of the course. Ashley Gentle is in second position and also riding really well.
Ashley's looking to chase down Holly here. She looks like she's in control. She has a really smooth pedal stroke. She's a really strong cyclist. Doesn't want to take too much out of her bike leg because her run is really her secret weapon.
Third position there, Lauren Goss. Behind her, Riveros and also Vodakova. It's a tougher day for Goss this year.
Goss looks strong here, though. I think she's looking ahead, seeing if she can make any time on the ladies in front and biding her time for the run.
And Goss has won over a range of distances this year, so we know what she's capable of.
Brownlee is continuing to hang behind Cam Dye, who's pushing the lead in the front at an amazing clip.
Brownlee, though, hanging in. Cam Dye, one of the uber cyclists of the sport of triathlon, doing exactly what he did at Alcatraz, hammering on the bike and hurting his competitors.
It's a challenging course. I mean, I haven't ridden the whole thing, but we drove it, and with the hills and the turns and the technical bits, it should be a good challenge. I mean, my strategy is kind of, it's no secret. It's going to be, we're going to hit it from the beginning, and we're going to go until we can't go anymore.
Dye has plenty left in the tank at just 32 years of age. This year, a very strong second place at the Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon.
The guys are heading into a very different section of the course here. It's going to get windy and technical through the villages. Let's see if they can hang on to their lead.
Holly on the flat section, but she knows that the hard part is to come.
A lot of these girls, it's like Barbara, Ashley, ITU girls who are obviously strong on the run and used to being able to stick with a bike pack. So whether I manage to shake them or not will be interesting to see. But yeah, I'll just try and do my own race and try and get away and be out there on my own, wherever that is.
Ashley Gentle is riding hard, but she has no idea how far ahead Holly is.
And it's going to be even more difficult for her to see Holly. moving into the twists and turns coming up on the course.
It's got to be a lot harder psychologically when you can't see the competitor in front of you.
I think what happens is the athlete has to really just go within and be super honest about throwing down their best effort when they can't see where the competitors are.
Up and down this windy, twisty part of the section, really technical. Goss out of the saddle. This is the first short climb. Vodakova moving up past Riveros. There is a battle here for the third position.
This is actually really fun for these ladies to be in position like this all together. It helps them push hard. There's a sense of camaraderie about it. They're in a really steep climb here right now. This is a fun part of the course for the athletes.
Ashley looks like she's having fun. Very smooth, staying in the saddle, getting maximum power out of her body.
She just looks like she's so much in control. I really like her cycling form, turning her pedals around full circle.
Goss regaining the third position. Really did want Riveros to be out in front of her.
Barbara's not letting down though, and she is riding hard, trying to stay in the same proximity. These guys are going for it. No one's going to be letting down here.
Brownlee still looking comfortable, very hot out on the course now.
He just looks so relaxed and casual to me, taking a little sip of water, keeping his eye on Cam Dye. He's just biding his time for the run.
Brownlee is the ultimate strategist. His gold Olympic medals as well as his world titles shows that he has patience and knows how to race.
Obviously, if the race, if someone's trying to bike hard and bike away and up the roads, I'm going to try and follow them. Similarly, if it's not so hard, I might try and push on, but you just don't know until you see how the race unfolds around you.
At only 28 years of age, Brownlee is an incredible champion, the reigning Olympic champion as well as Commonwealth Games champion.
Radka is looking strong here. She was second place at the race last year, and she's riding with our defending champion Lauren Goss. They're gunning for the leaders.
Ashley Gentle and Holly Lawrence are out of sight at the moment for Goss, but she has to continue to drive forward while still being aware of the challenge from behind.
Leaders are heading up to the turn on the course. This is a slight climb, but they're moving really fast in one of the most beautiful sections on the course.
This is approaching the turnaround at the Tianliang Mountain. A beautiful part of the course, as you mentioned, Terry, but very, very tough. This is the 20-kilometre section mark. They are now halfway through this bike.
One of the really exciting things about hitting that turn is they've hit the top of the climb, so now they get to descend, and they're going to be able to see their competitors really quickly. This is a big psychological boost for athletes. They're either going to feel excited about the lead they have or feel a little bit demoralized with how far behind they are.
And you can see the effort that has gone into this hill climb. Joe Malloy was in third, Josh Amberger was in fourth, and Vincente Hernandez followed by Eric Lagerstrom. But we know that Lagerstrom is really strong on the descents.
There's Joe coming into the turn. He has really been riding strong, impressive. He's looking ahead now. He just saw those guys in sight. That's going to give him a huge boost going into this downhill.
And he knows that the run is yet to come, and that is his strongest leg.
Here comes Josh. He's made a surge ahead of the other guys behind him. He's looking at Joe now, and he's going to see if he can make some time on him.
Heading downhill and flying. Brownlee just sitting behind Cameron Dye. They are reaching speeds well in excess of 70 kilometres an hour.
And here comes our women's leader up to the turn. Once again, she is psyched to make this turn, hitting the top of the climb. She's going to be looking for her competitors to get a real good sense of how much of a lead she does in fact have.
And a good descender as well, a real strength athlete, Ashley Gentle, still determined and staying in the saddle.
She just looks like she's hammering here. She's not letting up one bit, even though she hasn't seen sight of Holly yet. She's going to push to the top of the climb and then see what she can throw down on that downhill.
Brownlee riding smoothly and very quickly. There's still a slight downhill through this section into the tunnel and now descending through some of these smaller villages.
All the guys are really looking forward to this whole section of the course. It's beautiful, it's culturally interesting, and they can get in some top speeds.
Back to the top of the mountain, Ashley Gentle pushing hard. She's seen Holly Lawrence and now knows how much time she needs to make up on this descent.
Obviously, I was very happy with how I rode 2 years ago, but I know Holly, for instance, is a very exceptional bike rider, and her swim bike combo is very strong. It'll be good to have someone like her in the race to really feed off and just see how I'm going.
Gentle on the homeward run, really hugging the corner there. Great handling skills and moving very fast.
Cam Dye still hammering off the front and Brownlee hanging on to his tail.
And that cannot be an easy thing because Cameron Dye is such a powerful cyclist.
Notice how on the little inclines they're out of the saddle trying to power over as quickly as possible.
Back to the leader of our women's race. Holly Lawrence, head down, eyes forward, hasn't looked back once. She knows her strength is on the bike. It doesn't matter whether it's up the hills or on the flat. She's flying.
She is flying, taking in a little bit of calories. Even though this race is relatively short for these pros, they still have to intake fluids because it's a little warm out here today.
Now the descent into the narrow streets of the local villages.
Heading into the villages is culturally, again, a really interesting part of the course for these athletes. We see some spectators out there, and back to the guys.
Well, it looks like Lagerström had overtaken Josh Amberger. Amberger now moving back. We saw earlier that Lagerström had dropped off on the climb up, but it looked like he really came fast down the hill.
The climbs and the descents are where there's a lot of movement going on in the field. Josh is not letting down. It looks like we've had an incident here. Holly's off her bike. Looks like her water bottles are on the ground, which means she must have had a fall of some sort. Officials are giving her the bottles. She's having a problem with the bicycle. I see a little bit of chain lag. Her chain must have come off the chain ring.
Losing valuable time here. She had a solid lead over a minute, but at least 30 seconds have passed and we don't know the impact on her body. And she's off. Okay, she's continuing this race, but how much time has she lost?
And how much pain is she in?
Amberger in pain, but a very different sort of pain, pushing a big gear, as is Erik Lagerström. They're now back on the flat and really pushing the pace as they head towards home.
And here's Holly again. She definitely has abrasions on her upper thigh. She's running on adrenaline right now, which happens often.
You know, time gap. Stop checking out my house.
She's smiling there at the camera, so she's still feeling okay. Is it the adrenaline that just keeps you going?
The adrenaline and her great attitude. But here's Ashley pushing hard. She has no idea what happened. She's just riding her own race.
But she has made up ground, and it could well be that Holly is in sight. Here is the battle for third place.
Our leaders are heading into the transition area. They're going to throw down as much as they can here, but they're focusing on the run ahead.
Cam Dye has pushed the pace on this bike from the very start. He took control early, and now he is going to lead into the second transition area. It's going to be an extremely fast bike time, and Brownlee is like the lion waiting to pounce.
But here are the guys coming in strong. They're going to try and get as much speed as they possibly can before they hit that transition.
Lagerström has moved up into third, Amberger into fourth position, heading into T2.
Our top men are in transition. Let's see how quickly they can get through and out onto the run.
Dye will be hoping he sapped the strength of Brownlee's legs for the run.
Here's our women's leader. She's got to be wondering how much time she lost on that crash.
Lagerström into transition in third place. A great bike ride by him. He made up time after the swim. A very fast transition. Helmet off, shoes on. He's grabbed his glasses and he's off. The defending champion is on the run course. Cameron Dye with the fastest bike of the day. Lagerström strong. Amberger right behind him. Joe Malloy lost a little bit of time during that cycle leg. Vicente Hernandez right behind him. And a surprise retirement by Greg Bennett.
Here's our women's leader coming into transition. She is going to be through as quickly as she possibly can because she knows that those women are coming after her and she lost a lot of time on that bike crash. Let's see how she goes.
And the question is, how is her body going to feel after that crash. She's got a lot of grazes, but it looks like she's running well.
She's not even going to feel the crash, I guarantee it. Her adrenaline is high right now. She's got road rash all over her elbow. She's going to be hurt tomorrow, that's for sure.
Racking the bike now. She has time, but she knows that she did lose some, and the transition from bike to run uses an entirely different set of muscles.
It does. The bike to run is really tough. She's going to have to feel out her legs with that road rash, trying to get her shoes on really quickly. She's not stopping for anything. Holly's going strong here.
She knows that one of the world's best runners, Ashley Gentle, is right behind her.
And there she is. Ashley has not missed a beat here. She is so smooth. Let's see how she does in transition.
Even with that crash, Holly Lawrence had the fastest bike split ahead of Ashley Gentle. Vodakova the third fastest, but Lauren Goss third out onto the run. Riveros some ground to make up, and Magali Tesser retired after that crash. Coming up, the run length.